I don't love my body every day, and I stopped feeling guilty about that. We have mastered turning self-love into yet another thing that we can fail at. We are all expected to love our bodies, and it's kind of shamed upon when we don't, as if there's not already enough guilt surrounding our bodies. We have managed to turn something that was supposed to be positive and beautiful, which was like loving your body and the Dove campaigns or whatever, and we have turned it into yet another standard. Well, I don't love my body every day, and I am tired of feeling like I failed myself on the days that I don't. And if you are tired of feeling that same way, or if you feel guilty for just really not feeling yourself on some days, this video is for you. I think what's really happened is that we've tried to put a band-aid on our self-esteem. We think that blindly loving our bodies will fix years of trying to change it and trying to punish ourselves for our bodies. Low self-esteem and just really not being happy with your bodies is a direct effect of societal pressures, of just constant self-evaluation and hyperfixation on our appearances. And it's crazy because from the moment that we hit puberty, we've kind of been brainwashed into thinking that putting this extra emphasis on our beauty is a necessary step towards adulthood. I used to watch this novela called Ruby, and it's you don't speak Spanish or don't know anything about novelas. Novelas are just like Spanish, not sitcoms, they're dramas. And obviously everything in these novelas are exaggerated. And one of the things is the trope is about this girl who uses her beauty. She's so beautiful. She uses her beauty to get what she wants, to climb out of poverty and to manipulate people. And she's portrayed as kind of powerful, but one of the things that she does is every single day she puts on her mascara and she takes a sewing needle and she separates each individual lash one by one. And you may be thinking, oh my god, that's so silly. Yeah, because it's supposed to be dramatic and silly or whatever. And the girlies on TikTok were that's my inspiration. Every time I think that I'm trying hard enough, I remember this scene and I'm oh, not trying hard enough. If you think you care about your appearance, just remember that Ruby was doing this. Some of us are trying to survive. What? Listen, if that's your thing, okay, this video isn't for you. Clearly we have conflicting maybe, I don't know, if I'm going to prom or something, yeah, I'll take the time to do that. But on a daily basis, I'm trying to build a life for myself, When I was in high school, and even now, honestly, the girls would be getting ready before school. We would be, all of our extra time was just put in towards getting ready, doing our makeup, doing our hair, cleaning up our clothes or whatever. And even now, it's the girlies, they take hours to get ready for the same event that men will take max 20 minutes to get ready for. And again, I am not trying to say that, doing your makeup is bad or taking your time to get ready is bad. It's more so just when you are constantly looking at yourself and evaluating yourself and trying to find ways to optimize your appearance, well, you are bound to find flaws and you're bound to find things that just make you feel shittier about yourself. Then there's this factor of social comparison. From the moment media became a thing, women have always been pitted against one another for their looks. God forbid two women, two gorgeous girls star in a show or a movie together, because they're always going to be oh my god, who's the prettier one? Who's the hotter one? Are you a blonde, or are you like team blonde or team brunette? Are you team clean girl or team dark feminine? Like there will always be somebody who's prettier or somebody who thinks that somebody else is prettier than the other, and like vice versa, because different preferences will always exist. And yet there is always this like constant need to compare women. It's ridiculous. And then, of course, you cannot forget that looks are put in a pedestal in our society. Like, there can be like a sports scientist, like, got their PhD in sports science or their master's in sports science. And then there could be like an influencer with a BBL who's on Anavar and peptides and does all these beauty treatments. Again, nothing wrong with that. But then you'll like go look at their following. It's like, who's gonna have the most followers? It's not gonna be the sports scientist. There can be a woman who's made like the most remarkable scientific discovery, or who's like built this like empire of a business, and the comments, oh, and her face card, oh, and she's a baddie. That is so silly. What? Like, who cares? We will always, without a freaking doubt, we will always find a way to tie beauty into everything. Like, even on these types of videos that I made where I'm like, fuck beauty, who cares about beauty? It's like, there will always be people commenting about my looks, whether good or bad. Like, doesn't matter what you do. It's tied into everything. And when beauty is so closely intertwined with social comparison and self-criticism and evaluation, well, it's no wonder why we don't always love our bodies 100% of the time. But guess what? Love is an emotion, and just like every other emotion, it fluctuates. When you are dating someone for 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 years, like, you're not always gonna love them. And it's the same thing with the relationship that you have with yourself. You are not always going to love everything about yourself. You are not always going to love who you see, like staring back at you in the mirror. You're not always going to love your body, but that doesn't mean that you can't respect it. Respect is a behavior, and you can choose to make it stable, right? Like, you may not always love your boyfriend or your girlfriend, but you can choose to respect them by maybe not talking shit about them behind their back or not cheating on them. Those are conscious like choices. It's the same thing with yourself. Respecting yourself is a choice. It's not a feeling. How long have you maybe had a job for, like been in this particular career that you're in? 5 years, 2 years, maybe a decade, maybe 2 decades? Do you always love your job? No, but do you appreciate the fact that it pays your bills? Do you appreciate the fact that it allows you to like travel the world and go after your dreams outside of work? And maybe you love or you appreciate like the work environment and the culture. So you respect it and you show up when you need to. You are not like on your phone playing Candy Crush while you're on the clock. No, you respect your job. It's the same rule applies with your body. Like, you don't always have to love every inch of it, right? No matter how much like toxic self-love and like body positivity is like shoved down your throat, our throat, like, we don't always have to love every inch of it, but we should always respect it. Like, you should know that you shouldn't have sex with anyone and everyone that you meet, or you shouldn't stay in like a dangerous situation, because your body deserves safety. You shouldn't eat takeout every single day or black out every single night, because your body deserves nourishment. You shouldn't over exercise or like just like never sleep, because your body deserves rest. You should strive to like move your body, go to that workout class or go to the gym or go on that walk, because your body deserves movement. These are all ways of like respecting your body, and you can make these choices even when you don't love yourself, don't love your appearance, don't love your body, are not super hyped about how you look naked. I think we put so much emphasis on self-love when unwavering self-respect is what's gonna resonate the most with people. It's what's gonna feel more realistic, but also be more transformative. And ironically, what helped me make those choices that were more aligned with self-respect was letting go of the need to constantly love myself, forgiving myself for not loving myself, and just accepting myself for how I was. I found neutrality to be far, far more helpful and enjoyable than like toxic and fake positivity. When I was saying the affirmations that I 100% did not believe, and when I was telling myself that I loved my reflection when I was like bloated and on my luteal phase, and when I was telling myself that I was so grateful that my life was in shambles and that I was falling apart, it did not work. It made me feel worse. It made me feel like a fucking loser. Like I had to come to the point where I have to lie to myself to try and make myself feel better, because that is how horrible I feel about myself right now. And I felt like a bigger failure for not believing the bullshit that I was feeding myself. Sometimes we do have to strive for that peace over that positivity, because it's just not going to resonate. It's just not going to be realistic for us. And I found that like when I accepted the reality of my feelings, and then when I try to come towards those feelings with like a more level-headed place and just like be more neutral about the situation, I was able to reason with myself a little bit more. Because it was in those moments where I could be like, yeah, I don't love how I look. I don't love my current situation. Like, that's true. That's facts. I know it to be true. But I am still like deserving of nourishment. Like, I am still deserving of like seeing the sun. I am still deserving of like having that meal and hanging out with friends or whatever. And so that's why I wanted to make this video. Yes, we feel so much pressure constantly to love ourselves, even though there are so many things that just make it extremely hard for us to achieve that. But we don't have to love ourselves. We don't have to come with like this positive Priscilla mindset and be like super happy and bubbly and like a walking piece of sunshine, right? We can still respect ourselves. We can still nourish ourselves, make good choices when it comes to ourselves, even if we are just not feeling so hot. For many of us, loving ourselves and being, super confident about our bodies or whatever, it has become another expectation. And this has just created guilt and pressure instead of like relief. So if you found that forcing body positivity onto yourself has just like backfired time and time again, I want to like relieve you of that pressure. I want you to try to just say, yeah, I don't like myself. I'm still going to respect myself though. This can be a more realistic and sustainable foundation than self-love ever will be. And if you are not in like that point in your journey where you can say, I love myself, that is fine. You don't have to be. You don't need to love yourself in order to be fully happy. Respect is enough. Have that unwavering foundation of self-respect, and that is more than enough to live a healthy and fulfilling life. And who knows, within time, you'll probably get there. Because I find that respect and having respect for something is a surefire way to work towards loving it. But yeah, other than that, that was all that I had for you guys today. Thank you so much for tuning in, and until next time. Bye.